So, good evening to everyone. We are going to start the next chapter of accountancy, that is recording of transactions. So, from this chapter, we will be working out problems. So, I want all of you to maintain a notebook for this. Okay, you should all be having a notebook to work out the problems. Okay. So, one of you tell me, what was the accounting process? What did we do? What was the accounting process? Yes? First of all, we will identify the transactions. Yes? Then what we do? We identified the transactions. The financial transactions are identified. Then what is the next step?
Record.
Record. You're right. Then we record it. Then we record it. After that,
Classify.
classify. You're right. Recording, classifying. Then Then, after classifying, what we do? Okay, let me share the screen now. We'll see. So, the next chapter, chapter 3, that is recording of transactions, recording of business transactions. So, first we told we will identify the transaction, and to support that we need vouchers, source documents, that are the proof. Then we record, okay? This is the accounting process, you can see. Record, classify. After classifying, we summarize. Summarizing. Okay? Then, after summarizing, we analyze them and interpret the result. What is the business, what does it make? Is it profit making, or is it making loss, or what is the financial position? We make interpretation. Conclusions, we bring about conclusions. So this is the accounting cycle. Okay, so first one, we will identify the transaction, financial transaction, then we will record it. Recording of transaction, classify them, summarize them, analysis and interpretation. This is all about the accounting process. Now, in this chapter, we are going to see how these are all done. Recording. Recording means what? How do we record? Where do we record? Classification. How do we classify? Under which heads? So, these are all going to be dealt with now. So, from now, we are going to see the problems based on the theory, whatever we have learned in the chapter 1, chapter 2. We are going to apply it from here onwards. Okay, so first thing I would like to remind you about the dual aspect concept. Once again, what is dual aspect concept? You remember this boy? Yes, in the dual aspect concept, I was explaining this. A boy, he's having cash with him. He wanted to buy a cycle. So he's going to a cycle shop. He gives money, and in return, he gives the money, he get the cycle. Am I right? So here, this is a transaction taking place. What is taking place? A transaction is taking place. Business transactions are usually evidenced by an appropriate document. I told you, there should be a supporting document. What is that called? They are called vouchers. The source document. Source document. Okay? Are you all listening? Only 7 in the class. What is this? Okay. So business transactions are usually evidenced by an appropriate document. There will be a proof. In this case, this boy goes, gives money, he gets his cycle. Definitely the shopkeeper will be giving him a bill. So the bills, the vouchers, it can be either of the form. A cash memo, invoice, sales bill, pay and slip, check, salary slip. These are all vouchers or source document. What do you say? Source document or voucher. Both are same. Source document or voucher. So what are source document? What are vouchers? They are the documents which serve as evidence of business transaction. Clear? Yes, that is clear now. What is a voucher? Other name for voucher? Source document. Don't forget, source document. Now here you can see a cash memo. Cash memo or a bill, sales bill or cash memo. This is when you buy something, the shopkeeper writes in it the items, the rate, the amount, total amount. He'll write it here and he will give you the bill. Receiving the bill, you will make the payment. Yes, the normal bill. I had asked you to collect vouchers. Did you do that? No? Anyone? Please collect it. I'll give you a date. For that, you will stick it, you will make a file of the source documents that whatever you have collected. 3 or 4. Definitely you will be buying something, you will be making purchases at home. Definitely you will be getting the bills. So collect it, keep it with you. Okay, don't throw it in the dustbin. So this is a cash memo, or you can say it is a bill. And here you can see an invoice. This is an invoice. Okay, so invoice, usually it is a bill that is given for credit transaction. Cash memo means it is for immediate cash payment, a cash transaction. If it is a credit transaction, we give an invoice. An invoice is raised before the payment, while cash memo is raised when the payment is made. Okay. An invoice is issued for credit transaction as a proof of amount due. If it is a credit transaction, we use invoice. Whereas cash memo used for cash transaction. Do you understand the difference? Invoice and cash memo. And cash memo also known as bills. Bills. If the cash payment is done immediately, that is what usually the term used, bills. We use the term bills. Yes, from the shop, you collect the bills. So bill and cash memo, they both are same. So these are the source documents. So this is a picture of invoice. And you can find a salary slip. Salary slip. In the salary slip, this is also a source document, a voucher. The basic salary, how much is the basic salary? What are the allowances given? Meal allowance is given. Transport allowance is given. Medical allowance, retirement allowance. So, everything, all detailing about the salary is shown in the salary slip. And next picture, you know that. What is this? Yes, what is that?
Check.
Check. It is check. Check is also a source document. Source document. Okay. So far I showed you cash memo, invoice, salary slip, then check. Then this is pay in slip. Pay in slip. Have you seen this? Pay in slip. When you deposit money in the bank, we have to fill up this pay in slip. Okay, you get this pay in slip from the bank, and this is a pay in slip of post office savings bank Pay in slip is this. So usually when you go to a bank physically, when you want to deposit some money in your account, pay in slip will be kept there on the countertop on the table. Then you take it, you fill up the date, account number, the details, the money, amount details, to which account you have to deposit it, the account number is given, everything. And a portion of this can be torn, you tear it. So this portion you keep it with you, and this portion you give it to the bank. So this is pay in slip. Okay, pay in slip. And there is one more thing, debit note and credit note. These are all the various types of vouchers. A debit note is a commercial document issued by a buyer. A buyer issues it by a buyer to a seller as a means of formally requesting a credit note. Debit note act as source document to the purchase returns journal. Purchase return. When you purchase something and you return it, it is then you prepare a debit note. Keep this sentence in your mind. Debit note act as the source document to the purchase return. Understood what is purchase? Purchase return. You purchase something, but you find that there is some defect with it. So you return it to the seller. That is called purchase return. It is during that time we prepare a debit note. And here is a credit note. Credit note is related to sales return. Okay? Sales return. So just understand which are the various types of vouchers. The source document, which are they? Sales bill or cash memo, invoice, salary slip, check, pay in slip, debit note, credit note. These are all the various types of source documents. What are source documents? They are the evidences, the proof for business transactions. Okay. Now, how do we prepare? The preparation of accounting vouchers. Accounting vouchers. So, accounting vouchers may be classified as cash voucher, debit voucher, credit voucher, journal vouchers, etc. And there is no set of format of accounting vouchers. There is no particular format for preparing the vouchers. These vouchers should be kept safe until the audit of the accounts and tax assessments are completed. It is based on the source documents. It is based on these vouchers that the accounting informations are prepared. So, the business shouldn't lose these accounting vouchers. These vouchers, they should file it, keep it safe. Okay? That is required until the auditing or the tax assessment are completed. Till then, this has to be maintained. Nowadays, it is computerized. Accounting is done in computers, and necessary accounting vouchers showing the code number and name of the account to be debited and credited are prepared for the purpose of necessary recording of transactions. Even if it is computerized, there is accounting vouchers and we must keep it safe. Okay. Now, talking about a transaction with one debit and one credit is a simple transaction. If there is only one debit and one credit, I told you for every transaction, there is two aspects, debit and credit. Sometimes more than two accounts have to be debited or credited. Okay, we'll come to it. If in a transaction there is only one debit and one credit, then it is called a simple transaction. Okay, and the voucher prepared for that is called transaction voucher. Now, voucher which record a transaction that has called multiple debit and credit are called compound voucher. Compound voucher. Okay, you just understand all these. We are going to the main topic, but before that, we are just discussing about vouchers. Okay, and such transactions are called complex transactions. Okay, there is multiple debits, multiple credits. That means it is a complex transaction, and the voucher supporting that is called complex voucher. And if there is only one debit and multiple credit, or one credit and multiple debits, that is called compound voucher. Only one debit and one credit it is a simple transaction. If it is multiple debits and credits, both debit and credit are multiple in numbers, then it becomes complex voucher. Okay. 10. Now, how should be the design of the accounting vouchers? The accounting vouchers depends upon the nature, requirement and convenience of the business. The design, how they prepare the accounting voucher. It is all based on the company's nature, the business nature, requirements and convenience. The paper, what type of paper should be used, what kind of printing, what kind of design should be given, all that. There is no set format of an accounting voucher. Accounting voucher is not having a particular specific strict format. No. To distinguish various vouchers, different color pages and different fonts of printing are used. You might have noticed the bills that you get. Sometimes it will be pink in color, white in color, green in color. Have you noticed? Yes? Okay. So, to distinguish various vouchers, different colors may be used, different font of printing may be used. Okay. So in your textbook, you can see the format of some vouchers. It is given in the textbook. So here you just have to understand what is a source document and the types of source document from this area. What are source document? What do you understand by vouchers? Okay. Same thing, source document or vouchers and different types of vouchers. Which are they? Yes, the vouchers.
Transaction voucher and compound voucher.
Oh, okay, and I'm asking about the examples. You're right, examples. Cash memo. Invoice, debit note, credit note, salary slip, pay-in slip. These are the examples of vouchers, okay? Examples of vouchers. Now, what are the essential elements? What are the various factors that are required? The requirements of a voucher. An accounting voucher must contain the following essential elements. What are they? It is written on a good quality paper. Okay, the voucher means the paper quality. It should be written on a good quality paper. Name of the firm must be printed on the top. The voucher, it should contain the name of the firm, the name of the business that is required. Then, date of transaction is filled up against the date and not the date of recording of transaction is to be mentioned. Date of transaction, when did that transaction take place? That date should be specified. Then, if the voucher is having any kind of numbers, and the number should be in the serial order, in the correct order. Name of the account to be debited or credited is mentioned. Then, the amount should be correctly written. If there is any description given, just understand all this. Next, we are moving to the accounting treatment. You will come to know all this. The description of the transaction is to be given account-wise. You should give the description. What is it about? The person who prepares the voucher must mention his name along with his signature. The one who is preparing the voucher, he should put his signature, also his name. Okay, the name and signature of the authorized person are mentioned on the voucher. Usually we don't follow this, but still these are the elements, essential elements of a voucher. Okay. So this is all about vouchers, an introduction about vouchers. What are vouchers? The supporting documents, the source documents, the evidences for recording the business transactions. Clear? Now we are moving to the problem part in the sense the numerical area, that is accounting equation. Okay, listen everyone, listen carefully. We are going to start the numerical session now. So vouchers is clear, it is just a briefing about what is voucher. Now, accounting equation. We know what is accounting equation? Asset is equal to liability plus capital. Okay, this is based on the dual aspect concept. Every transaction has got two aspects, the giving aspect as well as receiving aspect. So always see, when a transaction takes place, first thing you do is we will identify to which head does it fall. Okay, what are the heads of account that is involved in a transaction? Like the case of the boy and the cycle. Okay. Here, what are the two accounts involved? The two things, the two important items. One is the cash. Yes, cash. Other thing is the cycle. Am I right? Do you get me? So every transaction, whatever transaction you get, first of all, we will identify what are the items in that transaction, the account to which it belongs to. So various items are asset, liability, capital, revenue, expense. Okay, these are the various items. We'll come to it. Then when you write it, it should be always equal. Asset is equal to liability plus capital. Always the asset side will be equal to the liability or the other side. Equation equal to both the sides will be equal. Okay. Now, this accounting equation, it is also called balance sheet equation. Accounting equation is also called balance sheet equation. Balance sheet is a financial statement. I told you in the morning session also, what are the financial statements? Final accounts. At last, what you prepare? We prepare trading and profit and loss account and balance sheet. Okay. I'll just show you the format of a balance sheet. Okay. It is in this shape. This is how you prepare the balance sheet. This is amount column, amount column. On the right hand side, we will record the assets. Okay, this is balance sheet. Okay, and on the left hand side, we write the liability. The heading is liability. So assets we'll write here. We'll write the amounts here. Liabilities, in the liability column here on the left hand side, we will write the capital, which is the owner's equity, as well as internal equity and also outsiders equity. Other liabilities, outside liability, we'll write this. Okay, both capital and outside liability will appear on the liability side. Assets, here we write the amounts. Assets, we write it on the right hand side. When you find the total, when you calculate this, both the sides should be equal. This liability amount is equal to this amount. Okay, so the items in the accounting equation, asset is equal to liability plus capital. These are the main items in the balance sheet. Asset, liability, capital. Okay, so that is why the accounting equation is also called balance sheet equation. Clear? Did you get the idea? This is how the balance sheet of a firm appears. We will have two sides, assets on the right hand side, liabilities on the left hand side. We'll write the amounts. When you total it, both the sides should be equal. Are you following me? Nobody has kept their videos on except Pranav and Rahul. Nobody else I can see. Switch on the video, please. Okay, so balance sheet equation. This is how a balance sheet looks, and that's why the accounting equation is also called as balance sheet equation. Clear? Now, accounting equation. What is accounting equation? Accounting equation is a statement of equality. A statement of equality between debit and credit or assets and liability including capital. Okay, so accounting equation, equation, it is all about equality. So accounting equation shows or tell you or explains the equality between debits and credits. Now you know the debit and credit, the receiving aspect, giving aspect. Every transaction will be having a debit or a credit. Or you can say it in this way also, that is, asset is equal to liabilities plus capital. That is equality between asset, liability including capital. Asset is equal to equity. What is equity? What is equity? What is equity? Yes, equity. It is written here. Equity includes both liability and capital equity. Equity is of two types: internal equity, external equity. Internal equity is the capital. External equity is the liability, the outsider's liability and owner's equity.